Well, we are overjoyed to be joined here by Kevin Sullivan, legendary wrestler, promoter, backstage, and everything, Kevin.
Well, thank you, Scott. It's great to be here. And this is probably the premier Comic-Con or RiverCon or whatever you want to call it. But this is the biggest event of the year. And you can see, you were here yesterday, how many people came through. They have matches today. They had matches yesterday. It's a spectacular event.
So what have you been doing with your life lately?
Well, when I kind of stopped wrestling, I opened the largest gym in the Florida Keys in Tavernier, but that's like saying you're the most popular guy in prison, because when I opened the gym, there was no chains.
Okay.
So I was the biggest gym there. And I ended up selling it after 10 years. And then I sold the house, and my wife's family's from the Pacific Northwest, so I ended up going to San Juan Islands, north of Seattle.
How did you start in the business? It was a long time ago.
Yeah, I wasn't trained. I had wrestled amateur for 10 years, and I used to wrestle this guy. Great story. He was from the DeBerry family in South Africa, the Diamond people. And he went to Oxford and Harvard Business School. And he did some male modeling for those Arrow shirts back in the day.
Yeah.
And he did soap operas. But all he wanted to do was be a pro wrestler. But it was beneath the station where he was in South Africa.
Yeah.
So he had wrestled for back in the day in independents, small areas, and professionally. And he was a very good amateur wrestler. And he said to me, "Would you like to try it?" I said, "Sure, I'm not doing anything. I'll give it a shot." And I went up there and I had my first match in Montreal.
How did your national break come? When did you start going national?
Well, I got kind of recognition when I came to Florida, and then I was on the first wave of TBS that went nationwide.
Back in the early to mid 80s?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you were down here in Florida with Dusty and people like that?
Yeah, I wrestled Dusty quite a bit. I wrestled Blackjack. I wrestled the great Barry Windham, who's here today, and I wrestled Andre the Giant. So I had a very...
What was it like? You're not a big guy. You and Andre. What was that like?
It was great. I mean, I was 252 pounds at the time. I had been a power lifter and a bodybuilder, but he was a very nice guy to me, and it was amazing. People don't understand how big he is. I just saw something on YouTube where somewhere the WWE, I think they do it at WrestleMania. They bring this thing is put your hand next to Andre's.
Yeah.
Well, Brock Lesnar is a big guy.
Yeah.
And he put his hand next to Andre's. He looked like a child. That's how big the guy was.
Any good Dusty stories back in the day?
Oh, Dusty was probably the premier at the time that he went to New York and was wrestling superstar Billy Graham. Between him and Billy Graham, they were the biggest 1-2 attractions in the world. And Dusty was a fabulous performer, great mind, a genius, if you will.
Yeah.
You know, he was an amazing athlete.
So eventually you start doing the dark, demonic, satanic gimmick.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
Well, MTV had just started.
Yeah.
Billy Idol, White Wedding, Thriller with Michael Jackson. The horror genre came full circle, and then they were showing old movies of all the horror movies back in the day. So I just would sit there and watch them, and I write stuff down and incorporate my own stuff. And then I had been in the East. I was in Malaysia, Singapore, Hong Kong, Thailand, and I would get out and go look at things. And I went to cave temples, and met some seafoods, and I said, I can incorporate this in some.
I think one of your areas where I think you really broke out nationally was the Varsity Club.
Yeah.
With Rotunda and Rick Steiner. How did that come about? Was it because of your background, amateur?
No, it was Dusty's idea. If you remember back then, there was some scandals in the college.
Okay.
You remember there was a lot of stuff going on back in the day, and when you saw that, you saw two clean-cut collegiate athletes at the top of the game, and then you see this crazed individual with a black robot.
Yeah.
Well, they weren't hanging out to listen to him Tate. So it was a subliminal message. That's what Dusty was very good at.
And so you do, throughout the WCW's glory days.
Right.
You're there, you do Varsity Club, and then they knock it, but you were over as the Dungeon of Doom, being kind of Hulk Hogan's foil.
Well, the reason why I was writing the show at the time, the reason why I did the Dungeon of Doom was Hogan brought in his friends, and the wrestling business was really changing. It was getting more real.
Yeah.
And the wrestling was coming back, the technical wrestling. And it wasn't that these guys weren't capable of doing it that were in the Dungeon of Doom. Because I had Ming, I had Barbarian,
yeah.
I had Conan, I had a lot of fabulous wrestlers. But I knew I had to get them on the show, so I lumped them all together. So I could almost give it some kind of comical relief, and that was what Hogan had thrived on WWF at the time. It was big monsters, and I just made it a little bit more hokey.
What was Hogan like to work with then?
It was fabulous. I mean, I used to say to my kids, when you say your prayers tonight, make sure you thank Hulk Hogan for the way you live.
Because he was bringing in the checks.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of knocks on Hogan during this time, right, because he's the top guy, so everyone's going to knock him.
Yeah.
But he's the reason why you guys are essentially paying your bills.
Yeah, and the other thing is, I get a kick out of it. The young guys then were saying, oh, the old guys hogging the spotlight, you can't get up. Those same guys are older guys now.
Yeah.
And they're on top.
Yeah.
Right? So you get a different perspective as you get older.
One guy you mentioned I want to ask about, Ming, Haku. Is he as tough as everyone says? It's lore among wrestling fans.
Well, I saw two incidents in my life. Haku didn't drink.
Okay.
But when he drank, it was a whole Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. And back in the day when we would go to Louisiana and we'd go out into some of the counties, you could only buy beer at bars and take it out, right? There was no package stores.
Yeah.
So I had me, I believe, Bobby Eaton, a couple of other guys in the car, but Ming was in the car. So I pulled up and I said, I'll go in and get the beer. When I walked in, by the time I got to go get the beer, I look over my peripheral vision, and Ming's got a triple Jack Daniels, and he swallows it.
Uh-oh, that's a dangerous thing.
So then he goes to play pool. And there was a bunch of rednecks.
Yeah.
One of them had a flannel shirt with the sleeves cut off, and he said a real derogatory statement to him.
Okay.
He said, we don't let people of your background play pool. So he said, I'm playing pool. So when Ming grabbed the pool stick, guy came up and hit him in the back with the pool stick, and they splintered. And when Ming turned around, you know the hold he used to use on TV, the goozle?
Yeah.
That's real. When he got the guy in the throat, I thought it was like a wrestling match. The guy started to drop. Ming bit through his shirt and spit a piece of his back out.
Oh my God.
Then another guy tried to sucker punch him. It bounced off his head. He grabbed the guy, and I thought that he was going to make out with him. He grabbed him in the back of the head, pulled him in, and bit his nose off.
Oh my
I said,
God.
it's time to get out. And I've heard Rock tell that story.
Rock tells the same story?
Yeah, on Jimmy Fallon. I saw it.
Oh,
yeah,
my God.
Yeah.
So he is just as bad as they say.
Yeah, he's the baddest man on the planet.
Yeah. So I got to ask you about what happened after all this with the angle with Nancy.
Well, we had been separated for
Nancy
6
and Chris
months.
Benoit, yeah.
We were separated for 6 months. I was living in the Florida Keys at the time.
Okay.
She was living in Daytona. We knew we were going our separate ways, and I incorporated it into an angle.
And with Chris. And people say you booked your own divorce. Is that not accurate?
No. I mean, we're heading there. I was not in the house for 6 months, and we were living our own lives.
Was that a hard story for you to watch 13 years later?
What happened?
Yeah, the tragedy.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I spent a lot of nice years with her. She was a wonderful girl, and I don't think we'll ever really know what happened.
Sure. So after WCW, did you go WWE at that point? Were you backstage?
No, I was signed for 3 years, but I was signed to a contract for Turner, not for WCW. I was in the office. So when they bought it, I got paid for 3 years and went home and opened up the gym and went fishing and diving and raised the kids.
Yeah. Do you still stay active in wrestling at all?
Yeah, I go to these quite a bit. It's great to get out and see the fans, and it's a whole different experience now.
Yeah. Well, Kevin Sullivan, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. So we got Kevin Sullivan here.